Greetings, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Angelic Alchemy Meenakshi, and a quick introduction to myself. I am a seer, a quantum alchemist, and a channel to the divine. I am also a practitioner of past life regressions, angelic alchemy, Reiki, Akashic records reading, and I am a spiritual mentor as well. So you can know more about me by visiting my website, angelicalchemyholistichealing.com, and I'm on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram by the same name. Thank you so much for being here and welcome. I'm so grateful for all of you. I hope you all are doing very well coming towards the end of the year. We've all been through so much as a collective. And over this year, I was receiving a lot of messages for the divine masculine. They were coming in waves. I have a few videos at the beginning of the year where I discussed a lot about the divine feminine energies and what they need, their healing needs, as well as their activations, and stepping into their goddess avatars and how to do that, as well as twin flame messages. The messages that I'm bringing forth today are coming from my beautiful guides, the Ra, which is Divine Mother, Divine Father of creation, all of the archangels. I also work with the Christ consciousness race, which is a part of my soul family, as well as my beautiful guides and many other beautiful spirit benevolent guides. These messages were also coming through the divine masculines that I have known personally as well as professionally. And beautiful awakened divine masculines have stepped forth to share these messages through their own experiences. And I thought I'll put them together. And by the end of the year, as we're moving into New Year 2024, just looking at what the divine feminine and the divine masculine can create together. So thank you so much for being here. Welcome. Although these messages are for the divine masculine, remembering that the divine feminine also have the divine masculine within themselves. Typically, the right side of our body for the feminine is the masculine side, and the left side is the feminine side. And as we share these messages, a lot of these messages might be relevant to you as well. And there are a lot of activation messages and healing tips that can help you activate your masculine side, which is essential to come into union with yourself, with source within you. So here we go. Let's get started. To begin with, I was talking to my guides and I said, what is the purpose of the divine masculine? Why did they come to earth? And the first message that came through was that they are the seed of creation. They provide the seed of creation. So that is their primary role, as well as they are the protectors of typically, of course, the roles have gone through so much change on Earth as well over the years as we have activated ourselves. But typically, they were meant to be the providers, provide the seed for creation, to provide for their families, to take care of them, making sure that all of their abundance needs, all of the financial needs, everything that the family needs for security is met, as well as the third main one that they talked about is being a protector figure for their families. And then they take it next level when they go ahead and they protect their nation, when they have enrolled into the armies of the nations that they represented, years back as well, ages back. If you look at our races, if you look at our history, men typically went to war and they represented their countries at war. So that's what their main primary role was. And as they said that, it was, I got a flash of, if you are aware of the Holy Trinity of the Divine Father of creation for Hindus, and I guess, because I was born into Hinduism, they were giving me that example when they showed me the divinity of the Holy Trinity of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva coming together as the Holy Trinity, where Brahma represents, he is the father of creation, he is the creator, and Vishnu is the preserver of life forms and takes care of life forms. And Shiva, as we know, they call him the destroyer, but really what they mean by that is that he is the protector of timelines and of cycles. And so when a cycle comes to an end, he ends that cycle by closing those timelines, moving the lessons and all of creation to the next phase of their creation. That's how he's related to being the destroyer of, olden times, and anything that needs to collapse, anything that needs to be, brought to an end so that a new creation is birthed. And that's what Shiva's role is. And that makes so much sense because Kali Ma, who is his twin flame, uh, does the same for creation, where she also works with timelines and is the destroyer of old timelines of that are not needed anymore, as well as the any structure that needs to be collapsed and is collapsing, they work on that. So Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva typically represent, say, the masculine, the divine masculine, and their roles here. So knowing very well that at that point, when we look at our scriptures, that's what was shared with us. However, we need to also remember that Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, as well as Jesus, look at any and all cultures, religions, Buddha, they all the enlightened beings, ascended masters, while we looked at them as divine masculines, they were who they were because they had brought about that beautiful divine union, sacred union with their divine feminine within them. And so, although we were taught that they are, these are their primary roles, but they were also in their heart connected with the divine feminine. So, today we're going to talk about how the divine masculine here on earth is making that shift or has already, many of them have made that shift, moved through timelines, through the cycle of change, and moved from being the, obviously they're still going to contribute to the seed of creation, but from the preserver and protector role to also how they can be the nurturer, the divine feminine, and the divine mother as well. So let's see what we need to do to basically help heal that divine masculine within us, and especially for the divine masculine, what are the wounds that they are carrying in their soul's blueprint that they are now either they've started healing it, finished healing it, moved to the next phase, or they need to definitely heal and release and therefore activate and rebirth the new activated divine masculine for the new world. For the divine feminine, also, I wanted to mention a lot of the divine feminine may not, but may be carrying divine masculine wounds within them that could be coming from the divine masculine energies of their lineage. So if the divine masculine within their lineage has been corrupted or inverted in any form whatsoever, where their energies, the divine masculine energies in their lineage was used to cause harm, or they were inverted, or they were causing trauma to the divine feminine or to the children or anyone else around them, then a lot of the divine feminine could also be carrying those wounds in their hearts and anywhere else in their body, especially to the right side of their bodies. They're probably the representative of the healing for the divine masculine within their lineage. And they've probably taken up that case, that role within their lineage to heal it. So if you are a divine feminine who've had a lot of problems with the right side of your body, with a divine masculine in your families not being able to connect with the father figures, have not been protective towards you, or there's been a lot of abuse, or from brothers or from grandfathers, whoever it was coming from, then typically how it would sit in the body would be that the divine masculine side, the right side, would feel misaligned, would be imbalanced, would hurt more. And if there've ever been injuries in the bodies, it'll most likely be coming to the right side. So a lot of times, right shoulder problems, right knee problem, right foot, on the right side of the face, throat. So that is a hint of, a divine masculine healing need and requirement within the divine feminine as well. So I hope these messages help you heal as well. So let's look at the wounds of the divine masculine. So typically, because they came into the role of being the providers, the caretakers, and the protectors of their families, and then their nations and the world that they existed in, they went to war. So they've been through a lot of war. I'm talking about physical war right now. So in olden days, if you look back in history, in most cases, they did not even have a choice whether they wanted to go to war or not, or they wanted to be a part of another profession. They were just pulled into it, and they had to, without any choice, join the king or the pharaoh or whoever else was the authority figure in their nation, and they had to go to war. So they went to a lot of war. They saw a lot of death, a lot of destruction. They saw their brothers from their villages being killed. They literally saw their loved ones dying in front of them. So they carried that wound within them. in my own personal experience, I know that my husband used to have a lot of nightmares, especially when he was waking up, a lot of nightmares to do with wars, and he would see wars and aircrafts and fighting and people dying. And he used to wake up from it. And so when I, did sessions on him, the first thing that came across was that he was a warrior and he's had a lot of trauma of seeing his brothers die in war, and that has hurt his soul and he wants to heal that. So he started healing that within him. So war, and the traumas of war, so typically, they would come back if they were lucky, or a lot of them would just die at war, and not being able to come back to their families, and therefore that connection of being able to protect and provide for the family was cut off. So that trauma is something that they took to their soul for the cycle of reincarnations as well. And that's why they also carry that wound very deeply within them of not being able to provide for their family, the fear, what if I'm unable to provide for my family? What if someone attacks my family? So that's a fear that the divine masculine carry very deep within them. Some may realize it, some may not. And that's something that has come up for healing and has had huge healing over the years. So this year has been divinely helpful in healing that within them as well. And also because they've had to take on roles that are related to more of the mind, because they needed to connect more with their mind space, because they wanted to be more intelligent, clever, being on their toes, making sure that they would always make sure that their decisions were rational. At that point, they would think they would not fall prey to the heart, because they felt that if they connected with their heart energies, they wouldn't be able to do what they're doing. So they had to close off, or shut down, or guard their heart. They had to build walls and guard their heart to make sure that their heart did not come in and interfere with their divine role here, and therefore they relied more on their mind space to be able to think from their mind of what they need to do to protect, to preserve, and to take care of their families and nation, and to do what they came here to do. So they stayed more in the mind space, using the ego mind more, using their intelligence more, and being able to rationalize their decisions instead of thinking what they would feel about it in the heart, because maybe then their decision would shift to something else. So there was also a lot of mind control in society over time, over men being trained to not being emotional, not think, and not get going into their heart. They were told again and again, oh, you're a brave one. Even as a child, when boys fall down, we say, oh, get up, don't cry, you're a brave boy. But it's okay. The boy needs to cry because his body hurts as much as a little girl's body when she falls. So you're supposed to let them cry and then bring out that strength to heal that wound and say, it's okay, I'm going to continue playing. So time and again, the divine masculine have been told that they need to be brave, they need to be strong, they need to make sure that the emotions don't overtake them, because that is for girls, that's for women. Oh, if you cry, you're so feminine, you're like a girl, you need to be more like a masculine. Men don't cry. So these are typical mind control games that have been played with the divine masculine to keep them in their head, in their mind space, and that they don't connect with their heart. So this is something that the divine masculine is ready to release now, because it is as essential for a divine masculine to cry, to feel, to emote, to express their emotions, their feelings, as much as the divine feminine needs to do it. And it is not and yes, if it feels like a feminine energy, so be it. Bring it on, because the divine masculine needs to feel that divine feminine energy. And yes, that's what, as I'm saying it, I'm realizing. So that's what they wanted to do by telling them to not cry, not emote, not feel anything, not be like a woman. They basically were disconnecting these divine masculine from their divine feminine side. And that itself was an inversion itself. So there you go. That's a wound that the divine masculine need to heal and let go of that programming, and that need to always be the brave one, always standing up and always knowing what to do, whether they knew it or not, but pretending to be, because they're the divine masculine and it's expected of them. So that is something that they're carrying heavily on themselves, like a burden on their shoulders. I mean, look at your fathers, look at your grandfathers. How many of them had neck issues and shoulder aches and headaches because they've been carrying so much burden over their shoulders for so many generations. And yes, I know and I'm aware that the divine masculine would also birth as a divine feminine, and the divine feminine also births as a masculine. So we would have also had, like, I as a feminine would have had masculine births as well. However, the soul that you're coming from, I know for a fact that I am a divine feminine soul. To see where my C point is divine feminine. And so I'm just talking about those energies right now. Okay. So healing that for themselves, as well as the divine feminine that are healing those wounds in themselves, within themselves, where they probably found themselves as a child landing into situations that warranted that they not cry, that they not emote, and that they become strong, and they build up walls in their heart to protect themselves from any abuse, any wrong that was happening in their life. So they probably built that wall, and they brought out the fire feminine energy in them, to basically fight it out. And they suppress probably the masculine energy because they lost faith in the masculine energy because of maybe some abuse or something that happened in their family lineage. And now they're ready to heal it. Okay. That's also why many divine feminine are carrying wounds on their right side, because they're meant to heal it. They're the healers for their family. A beautiful example for it was recently I met this beautiful divine masculine who wanted a property healing, property Reiki healing done for his property, where he lives with his beautiful family, children. And as I met him, he just looked so stiff, and he was literally holding his head as if he was giving himself a massage. I mean, that's how much stress he's had on him. He had a headache, and he was like pulled down. His energies looked so tired, so tired. And yet he was alert because he needed to heal his family. And he gave me a brief background of what was going on the property. And being a warrior comes innate to the divine masculine. As my husband was saying to me, he said the divine masculine are the silent warriors. So whether they do go to a physical war or not, but they're silently always at war and always protecting, always, have their guards up. So this divine masculine that I met was a typical example of that. And as we healed his property, and I met him after an hour or so, and we were talking, and he said, when it's by the way, it's 12:12 as I'm saying this. So it says December 11th, 12:12 p.m. So it's like 1 12 12. It says 11 12 12. So such a beautiful time. So he said that as the property healing was happening, that he started to get sleepy, which obviously he was getting into theta brainwave, and he was relaxed. And that as I'm talking to you, I'm not being able to even keep my eyes open. I'm so sleepy. I can't wait to hit the bed and sleep because the energies felt so light with the healing. For the first time, I felt, because initially in the meeting, he had told me that he used to stage and cleanse his house at least 3 to 4 times a day, because that's how much negative energy he could feel coming into his house, and he was on guard. As this healing happened, he said that he felt so relaxed with the energies that came in, that for the first time he felt like, he could put his sword down, in terms of not that he's going to allow anyone in, but that he's got help. There are higher beings, higher ascended masters that were there to help him heal his family, to help protect his family and help cleanse. And he felt that there was help that had arrived. And now he was literally now feeling that help with the energies flowing in of the healing. He felt healed himself. And I'm so sleepy because for the first time, I feel that I'm not carrying that burden anymore. And that burden has been taken off. And he was able to relax and let go of that pain in his head and his shoulders and his neck, and really sleep that night peacefully. And so that's the amount of burden that, the divine masculine have been carrying on their shoulders. And so it is time now for them to start balancing that and releasing it and letting it go, because when we come into alignment, the divine feminine has done so much work on themselves that over the years, over the hundreds of years now, the divine feminine have also shifted their focus from being the caretakers of home to also becoming primary bread earners, to also going to war, literally, physically, as well as energetically, and stepping into that role. So knowing very well that the divine feminine is there as your equal to help you, and you can actually, in some of the areas that you've been so alert and always on the lookout, watching over your shoulders, that you can relax a little bit as well. You can take that time to rest, to rejuvenate, to connect once again with your heart space and the divine mother within you. and allow those energies to flow through you and help the heart energies now connect with your mind, and the mind energies connect with your heart, so that there's like a beautiful balance, like an infinity symbol, just connecting the mind with the heart. This is something that my higher self had taught me the first time that she stepped forth. I saw her come right in front of me. She was 6, 7 feet tall, and she literally just came out and she was connecting my third eye and my crown with my heart. And I said, "What are you doing?" And she said that when we use a heart space, we want to make sure that the mind is equally involved, because the mind is as important as the heart, and the heart is as important as the mind. They're equals. Yes, we need to fall into the heart, but the mind needs to be in balance to be able to do that. So she was helping me balance the mind energy, the ego mind, with the heart. And that is something that if we all do as a collective, we can really come into an activation and upgrade of a different level altogether. So yes, it is time now for the divine masculine to feel the divine feminine energies in them, and to start to take a breather, relax, find activities that help nurture your soul, that make you feel good. If it is you like to with art, or it's music or dancing, going out in the nature, surfboarding, swimming, whatever it is that you like to do, go ahead and do that, and start taking that time off for yourself, because now the divine feminine have also stepped into that role of being the protectors and the preservers of life, of their family, of their nation as well. So it is time for you to take that time to also heal yourself, okay? Knowing very well that the innate nature of divine masculine is that of being a warrior and a caretaker. They will always have it at heart. And the walls that have been built around your hearts, you can now start dropping them, releasing them, letting them go, letting that pain go, and allowing for the fire that is in your heart to light up in full flames. Connect with it and see how it is. Because if you look at a flame, twin flame, coming to the twin flame messages as well, the flame just doesn't stay straight, right? It moves. There's a move, and the wave, the right side comes over the left side goes over the right side, and there's intertwining that happens at times. And sometimes they move in circles. So it's a beautiful dance that they're doing. So remember that you need to have that beautiful dance within you as well, of the mind and the heart dancing together, of the divine feminine, of the divine masculine, and the feminine within you dancing together and activating it together, of you, if you are in physical union with your partner, of you actually feeling your physical union with your partner in the same way, in equality. I always tell my husband that he is a better mother than I am to the children. And I say that proudly, because, I am, and I'm a superb mother. I'm a beautiful hands-on mother. So that actually is huge for him to be, an even better mother than I am, because he's so protective, caring, and the way he does it, there's a method to the way he goes about handling children, handling the home, handling the chores at home. And at times he gives me advices on what to do for a child and what I need to do. And it's really beautiful when he comes in, because I can literally see like the mother aspect within him come up and guide me. And I take that so beautifully. I just love it. And I admire it. And I'm so proud of him. Similarly, if you are someone that has not stepped into that role, where you are still coming from that mindset that the home, children, house chores, all of the things we associate typically because of the programming with women, they are men's responsibility too, in a way. So if you start connecting with that, you will really start activating your heart, because when you spend time with your children, they are going to blast your heart with the highest flames and joy that you can ever, imagine. That just shows connection with divine feminine side, and sharing it proudly, not hiding it, and knowing very well that you can cry, when you're sad, when you're emotional, let out those tears. Those tears have a purpose. When you're joyful, when you're happy, let out those tears. There's a reason to them. Within the anatomy of the human body, some of the functions are the exact same for the feminine and the masculine. So yes, the tears are one of them. So use them to your advantage to help to clear yourselves. And that'll really help you feel lighter. And also expressing yourself, communicating with your partner, communicating wherever you need to communicate. It is important for you to speak up. and not suppress that throat chakra and how you're feeling truly in a situation. And it doesn't matter what the society thinks of you, even if you are, especially if you are talking for the divine feminine or you're talking topics that are related to the divine feminine, do it proudly, because you are then setting an example of what a true divine masculine is. Jesus, Yeshua, Buddha, all those that I mentioned, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, they were all in complete alignment with their divine feminine side. So if you would have seen on the internet pictures of Shiva in a form where the right side of his body is Shiva and the left side of his body is Parvati, that is Ardhanarishvara, which is a form of Shiva where his masculine side, which is him, Shiva, is completely in balance with his twin flame, Parvati, and he is showing that they are equal and he has balanced that within him. And so he is clearly giving the message that we all need to be doing that as a part of our ascension journey, as a part of our enlightenment of our soul, because we're meant to feel the other counterparts in the same manner. Now, the other thing that the divine masculine have been doing is always being on the move, always doing something. They just feel that they just need to keep doing something to move forward, take care of their families. And in doing so, most of them, I don't know if they realize it or not, their souls get exhausted and physically they're exhausted as well. As I could see in this beautiful divine masculine brother I met, and so many that I've met over the years. I've had a lot of divine masculine clients, as well as personally, I've have a lot of divine masculine energy in my family as well that I've always been very connected with. They also get tired. They also get exhausted. So you need to take time out for yourself. You need to rest. You need to rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul and bring it into alignment for a complete balance of those energies. Okay. I know this beautiful divine masculine. Um, He's a client, but I also now know him at a personal level because I've known him for a few years. And I've noticed that he's always been on his toes when it comes to taking care of the family. And he's literally verbally said it too. He's like, Minnie, I'm the provider. I have to take care of my family. And, I have to keep moving. I have things to do. And then he just comes in for a session. But then the session is just one tiny part of the huge journey that his soul is taking. And he does a lot of work on himself to balance his energies and everything else that he needs to do in his own way. He does it in his own fun way. And I also tell him that don't get bound by rituals or things that you don't resonate with. Make it your own and do it in your own way. Just do it the way you feel connected, because that's the point. Because if you're being forced to do something in a certain way, it's not going to work. You need to have your own soul signature of creativity to create that into existence for yourself. And so when he went into a session, he saw himself as a divine father of a native village, ancient times. And he was not married. He did not have a family of his own. He was a village elder, and the rest of them did have families. There were lots of children there, but they were not birthed through him. And he basically took care of the native village in terms of activations, healing, protections, and he was a father figure of that village. And so as he was performing this role, we were moving forward in the scene, and he said, I need to go somewhere. My heart says I need to go somewhere. And I said, okay, let's follow and see where you go. And he goes into a forest, and he says, I'm just moving and walking into forests, and there's a specific tree that I'm looking for. And then he finally finds that tree, and he lands his hands, he cups them on the tree trunk, and he puts his forehead there and he breathes, because he had found it. He found his anchor point. So basically, for all the work that he was doing, he needed to constantly go into the forest and connect with the energies of the tree to be able to rejuvenate himself, mind, body, and soul, and bring further activations for his village as well. And that was a session for him, because his higher self was telling him that you are really doing so much here in the physical now, again, doing so much for the family, always on the run. You need to take time out to connect with nature, to connect with yourself, and find that center point of peace for yourself, for your soul. That was a very beautiful message for him. So yes, and now coming to messages to do with twin flames, okay? This year has been very powerful for twin flame activations, healings. A lot of work has gone in by beautiful individuals as well as collectively. I think a lot of work has gone in as well. Because as we heal ourselves, we also heal the collective of the twin flame. I've made a few videos in the beginning of the year about the divine feminine. Now, these are messages for the divine masculine, as well as if as a divine feminine, if you feel that you're divine masculine, you need to come into union internally with your divine masculine. Some of this would help as well. So let's talk about twin flames. I've made a few videos about the divine feminine twin flame healing earlier this year. So this video, these messages would balance those messages that came forth, because the divine masculine has done a lot of work on themselves as a collective, individually as well as a collective. And if you're already in a union with a divine feminine, you have a partner or wife, please skip on. This is not for you. Just kidding. Okay, divine feminine, divine masculine, twin flames. Now, a lot of the beautiful divine masculines are already in a powerful divine union with their sacred twin flame. Okay, and they're doing beautifully, they're doing very well. Yet sometimes over time, I've noticed, it happened with a few clients, there was some sort of confusion that came in where they were wondering whether that's a twin flame. Have I met her? Is this her? Sometimes it doesn't feel like it. So please know that when you're in a divine twin flame union, you will just know it. Uh, do not expect everything to be perfect, and therefore you may think that it is not a divine twin flame union, because there's a lot of work that goes into healing this bond. Okay, and a lot of times it is basically external energies projecting that on you, making you think that you're not with a divine partner. I'm not talking about abusive relationships. So if you're in a relationship which is very abusive and disrespectful, you take a call on that. That's something that your heart would tell you what to do, for your safety, for the evolution of your soul. What you need to do, you will know exactly what to do. You take care of that. I'm talking about just little nuances, little details here and there that feel like, oh, maybe this is not her. Maybe I should look for my twin flame. Maybe she's out there. So sometimes this confusion comes in, and it has happened with some divine masculines as well. So knowing very well that you need to basically tap in and see what actually caused that feeling to come up. Is it a healing need for your divine feminine, or it is a healing need within you, or was it a projection from someone outside projecting that on you, or it is a old wound that you have been carrying because in previous lifetimes you've had other relationships, so right now your mind is confused or your heart is confused about it. So there's a lot of work that goes into recognizing who your divine twin flame is, and once you know it, you will know it. Hang on to your twin flame lovingly, and respect that relationship and grow together. Again, like the beautiful flame example that I was giving, the divine masculine and divine feminine twin flame energies, when they come into union, sometimes the healing needs to be done before you come into the union. Sometimes it needs to be done during it, and along the way, basically. Okay, so the part that the divine masculine, the message that I wanted to say was, maybe start working on healing the wounds within you of this bonding with the divine twin flame. Anything that is stopping you from connecting with your divine twin flame, you start tapping into that, doing inner work, meditation, speaking with your guides, healings, and then find out what is holding you back from connecting with your beautiful divine feminine. And as you do that work, we're not saying that you need to be 100% healed to meet your divine feminine. You don't need to. Some people meet as early as in their teens, where they don't even know anything about all these healing needs, and then they do the healing work together later. But at least start off and put that intention out there that you are now ready to heal yourself, because you want to heal yourself, the divine feminine within you, so that you can also come into union with your beautiful divine feminine. And that call then energetically goes out as a frequency to whoever your beautiful divine feminine is, because you're connected through a cord, and that divine feminine would be healing herself as well, or themselves as well. And when it is time for you to come in a union, you are able to safely meet, and as you meet, doing that work together, because it doesn't just end there. Because we have changes. Life is all about changes, and our circumstances, our thoughts, our emotions, our life circumstances change all the time in and around us, within the family and around us in the world. So there's going to be constant work that's required. So you need that kind of dedication to be able to put in your side of the effort, your side of the work, to really continue to be in that relationship with your divine feminine, with your other half. And the same thing goes for the divine feminine as well. So be willing to put in that work wholeheartedly. And the relationship, remembering, always is of equality. No one being within the relationship knows more than the other. Even if you see you come into a relationship and you notice that your divine feminine is the awakened one and you're just waking up, it doesn't mean that everything that the divine feminine is saying is true, correct, and you need to do it. You still need to follow your own heart and see how you feel about things. And then you need to be able to communicate that safely and in a very beautiful, loving manner. And then the divine feminine should be able to, understand where you're coming from and not push those boundaries and force anything through, because everything happens in divine timing. As long as your intentions are there to heal, as long as your intentions are there that you are here with your loving heart, with your protective heart, and in all sacredness for this divine feminine, for this divine union, the universe will hear you and will connect you with that kind of frequency. The kind of frequency we send into the world is the kind of frequency that reflects back and comes and meets us. So it is time, if you're ready for it, that's something that can really aid your path. And of course, take all guidance with heart resonance. You need to make sure that everything you hear on the internet from anyone, making sure you only take messages that resonate with your heart and you let go of anything that doesn't make sense to you, right? So that's how we come into this beautiful divine feminine, divine masculine union, always making sure that the energies are also balanced within us so that we're not just physically searching for that union outside of us. It is important to heal that divine masculine within us and bring the divine masculine up, for the divine feminine, for the divine masculine to feel the divine feminine energies and bring up those energies within you, in that sacred union to happen within you. That is important. That is most important. You can also help each other achieve those states, because that can be done by helping heal each other, as well as it can be done in the form of physical healing, when you are together in the physical through sacred love, through sacred intentions together, using that beautiful magic in a divinely powerful, benevolent way, always with pure intentions, remembering that we are all source and we are all fractals of source, and we represent source here. How would we want source to be? Would source do this? All right, so as the divine masculine rises, heals themselves individually and therefore as a collective, and the divine feminine are doing that as well, the divine masculine and the divine feminine of our collective are coming into a beautiful sacred union to then birth the beautiful energies of the new world, the baby, which is the new world, which we are creating for our beautiful children that are here, and our beautiful sacred children, our star children that are arriving shortly. So let's start creating that sacred space for our future generations by working on ourselves and therefore helping heal the cycle of our lifetimes here, the cycle of our births here, and the cycle of our evolution. Thank you. So let's go ahead and create a beautiful 2024 and beyond by healing ourselves individually and as a collective, and helping our children do that as well, holding space for them. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening in. I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Source love and blessings to you all always. Thank you.